It is that time of year again. We are staring down the end of 2025. It is so crazy how time flies. Welcome back to the Rock Record. This is the last time we'll be talking rocks this year. So to accompany us on our 2025 recap, I picked up this absolutely amazing Lego set from Costco this week, and I have been dying to build it. So we're going to build this while we talk about what the Rock Record has been doing so far this year in 2025, I guess in all of 2025. So by the end of this video, I am hoping to have this thing built. Hopefully it is still daylight outside. And we'll also have pieced together the incredible, chaotic, amazing year that the Rock Record has had. So let's break this thing open. What is the proper way to open Legos? Here we go. Oh my goodness. I don't know that we're going to get this finished today. This is a lot. Oh my goodness. It comes with 3 books. Oh, this is going to be a lot. So we have Watermelon Tourmaline, Pyrite, Amethyst, Rhodochrosite, Tangerine, Quartz, and Fluorite. It also talks a little bit about each of the minerals, which is so cool. I love that. All right, so I want to start with Pyrite, aka Fool's Gold. Honestly, it kind of feels pretty appropriate for how we kicked off this year. Have to be smarter than the Legos. So coming out of 2024, I was so inspired. I had this massive just pile of content that I was sitting on from my visit to the UK, which was beyond amazing, as you can imagine. I had filmed in underground mines, ancient, iconic geology, all kinds of really cool stuff. And I honestly could not wait to share it. I had so much momentum from that trip that I decided, you know what? Let's go for it. Let's do 1 video per week in 2025. Yeah, about that. So the year started off really strong with that 1 video per week. I was like totally on pace and doing really well. But once those UK videos ran out, I suddenly was forcing it. I was scrambling to film something, anything, at any cost. And it was strictly just to keep up this streak that I had in my head, this goal that was only for me. And honestly, with that, it stopped being fun. Plus, I personally feel that the content during that time just was not as good as it could have been. I was trying to film things so quickly that I just wasn't doing enough research, building enough of a story around it. And I was filming just to film. So lesson learned, just because you can does not mean you should. So now I'm putting out videos every 2 weeks, which feels like a much better rhythm for me. I actually get to enjoy the process of planning and creating and editing again, instead of constantly sprinting to keep up with a pace that nobody really cared about. And I'm really proud of that change. But of course, not everything that glitters turns into gold. At the end of last year, I filmed this epic behind-the-scenes tour of a historic mine that is up and coming to be a public tour, but it wasn't quite open yet. It probably was one of my favorite videos ever, and it did not get approved by the powers that be. So now it just sits in my drafts, and I watch it, and I'm sad occasionally. And that footage will probably never see the light of day. And my Kentucky video, my absolute favorite video that I filmed this year by far. It was so special that I even released it on my birthday. It was a total flop. Like, it's one of my least watched videos ever, which is crazy to me because I put it out to the internet to vote on what you all wanted to see. And I was so excited about it. I thought I built a storyline really well. And it was just such a cool experience that I was so excited to share, and it just flopped. You never know what's going to please the algorithm or the people watching. I let the internet choose my vacation this year by voting on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. And the internet was like, nah, we're good. So yeah, not every project shines quite like gold. But those moments are still pretty special. They taught me where to invest my time and what stories actually matter to me, not just the algorithm. Alrighty, up next, one of my favorites, Amethyst. Also my Nana's birthstone, which I really love. So geodes look pretty plain on the outside, but when you crack them open, a world full of surprises awaits you, which sums up this year on the rock record pretty well. Alright, so one of my first big trips this year was to Zion National Park, one of my absolute favorite national parks. This was actually my second time visiting. But this one was a little bit different because I met a friend from the internet who I'd never actually met in person before. Bambi, shout out to you. Now, she's super amazing and very in shape and quite the hiker. Like, it's very much her thing. It is very much not my thing. Yet I somehow got convinced to hike the Narrows and Angel's Landing back to back. 10 out of 10 would not recommend doing that if you're as out of shape as I am, but it was definitely a memorable experience. And hey, at least I guess I survived to tell the tale. So then we got our brilliant idea to try and go rock hounding in Arizona, which is a state that I've not really explored very much, but has a lot of really cool rocks. And that turned into a whole adventure on its own. We started off accidentally renting an EV, which I'm all for, but wasn't going to quite work for our needs for this trip. So we changed it to a regular car and then decided to take that car on basically a Jeep trail on quite the off-road adventure. Alicia had to be out of the car, like throwing rocks off the road so we could get moving. And it was super fun and exciting. Unfortunately, no cool rocks were found. One of my absolute favorite filming adventures this year, and she's going to get a big head about it, was actually with my mom in the Paula Gems video. She actually found that place. I had never heard of it before. And so we went and checked it out when I was in California. So we got to talk about the history of tourmaline mining in the area, which was so cool. I had never learned about it before the video, and so I was so excited to share it with you. We got to dig around for gems, which, spoiler alert, the gem that's in the thumbnail video, I did not get to keep. That was one of the ones that they found that they let me borrow for the thumbnail. But if you haven't seen it yet, go check that out. And honestly, it really reminded me why I love getting to do this and share these stories, because I get to discover a lot. I get to share a lot with you. And I also get to occasionally hang out with my friends and family, which I really, of course, love doing. And then there was Hermosa. This was one of my first big industry insider videos where we got to go visit South 32's Hermosa project in Arizona, which is in the middle of construction. This took months of coordination, permissions, safety clearances, all for one video shoot. But it was so worth it. Getting to go behind the scenes at a real active mining project and share their story, that is exactly what I would love for the rock record to grow into. Showing both the adventure that I love doing, but also the modern industry behind the rocks that we all rely on every day. And beyond the travel, some of my favorite moments this year came from seeing how you all connect with these stories, which is so cool for me as a creator. Seeing the comments on the Alamo and Alcatraz videos was just so much fun. Those were kind of experiments for me in connecting the human history to the geology. And the fact that people really got that was so cool. And having the rocks as a part of the story just really made everything come together. Plus some clips from some of the videos, like the Wallace intro and Glacial Lake Missoula, went kind of semi-viral on TikTok, which was such a fun experience, getting to kind of share those stories in short form. I really got my start in like TikTok and Instagram, but I've kind of been neglecting it. So seeing those platforms light up in the same way that YouTube does was really cool for me. So yeah, this year cracked open a lot of new experiences for me, just like a geode. And it turns out the inside of the rock record is a lot more colorful than I ever expected. All right, things might look a little bit different for the next chapter because there's a storm coming, so I'm gonna have to move my operation here. All right, we are actually gonna tempt fate a little bit because it says it's not supposed to rain for another 2 hours. So we're moving on to the next chapter, which is Fluorite. And this Fluorite is blue, which I think is the color that I have on my shirt as well. So really on point there. So Fluorite is supposed to be my lessons in clarity chapter because it's known for its clearness. And I don't have any Fluorite, so we're going to use my selenite from Glitter Mountain. It's not blue, but it still counts, right? So the mineral known for clarity is pretty fitting for this chapter because honestly, this year brought me a lot of clarity about what I can and can't do. Now this is where things start getting fun because I start breaking out the statistics. So I spent over 300 hours this year just planning and editing videos. That is 29 episodes, not counting this one, which works out to about 10 hours per video in planning and editing. That does not even include the filming time or travel time. So yeah, my editing software and I have spent a lot of quality time together. Some of the videos were an absolute blast to edit. Others, not quite as much. So the industry insider ones like Arcosa Aggregates and South 32 take ages because of all the approval processes, which I totally get. It is a big deal for these companies to open their doors and let me in with a camera and a YouTube channel and share their stories. But then there were others that were just tough. One of the hardest ones to film and edit this year was the Toronto Urban Geology Rock Walk. I think this is a great concept, and I really loved the idea of it as I was planning it. But the execution and editing of it was just a drag. Things didn't go to plan. A lot of things had been resurfaced, or like maybe the addresses were wrong. Overall, just not one of my better videos. But I really like the idea of it, so I might do something similar coming up next year. And then there were the videos like Zortman and Cook City. Those videos took me months to plan, edit, sit on and worry about, and then finally release. Those are heavy stories to tell, and they're not the most fun, but I think they're really important stories, and I tried to bring them to you in a way that was tourism friendly to encourage you to go visit these places, but also shared the stories of them in a way that hopefully allows you to make your own inferments and own decisions. They're really not flashy or upbeat, but they are important. I just hope that I did them justice. The hardest part of the rock record this year was doing all of this on top of my regular work. Like, yes, I have a regular job. I actually run my own business, for those of you that didn't know that. It's super exciting, especially trying to do YouTube, my business, and everything else that I'm doing. At one point, I was pulling minimum 12 to 14 hour days just to keep up. A lot of times those days were even longer than that. I was editing really late into the night, so my sleep was super messed up. I was literally begging my partner to like go out and do things on the weekend just so I could have some peace and quiet to edit. It was pretty crazy. But the thing is, like I said, it stopped being fun for me at that point. I was chasing this schedule more than I was chasing the stories. I was filming just to film instead of actually experiencing the things that I was filming. And I look back on a lot of those videos that I made during this time, and I just wish that I would have been more present and enjoyed those experiences a little bit more than I did. Nope, we tempted fate a little too hard and it is raining. Let me get you here.
Oops, with the rain, I kind of forgot to finish that section. So yeah, this year I found some clarity about balance. I still love making these videos, but I need to stop sprinting. And fun fact, now that the channel's monetized, because I know everyone asks how much I'm making on YouTube, I officially make about 49 cents an hour for all of that planning and editing. It's not exactly retirement money, but still, it's something. A lot of creators never even get to that point, and I'm honestly just so proud of how far it's come. So, blue fluorite, clarity achieved.
Welcome in out of the rain. Up next is watermelon tourmaline. Now, this is, again, what I was hoping to find in Paula that I did not find. So this is the only example of watermelon tourmaline that I'm going to have. This mineral is layered, colorful, and a little bit unexpected. Again, a great analogy for this year's rock record. Are you sensing a theme here? Every layer of this mineral tells a story of how far the rock record has come. All right, digging into some more stats here because I love stats. This year alone, I have shared more than 377 minutes of video content. That is just long-form video content. That's not including shorts or Instagram or TikTok. That is more than 6 hours of geologic adventures, interviews, road trips, behind-the-scenes content, etc. That means many of you have watched 6 hours of me yapping. How does that make you feel? I'm grateful to you for that. The videos from this year alone have brought in over 20,000 views, which honestly still blows my mind that 20,000 people are seeing these. And then there are the shorts. I kind of forget about shorts until I look at the numbers, and they have racked up over 109,000 views this year, so maybe I should not be forgetting about them. That is a lot of people watching 30 seconds of me excitedly yapping about rocks. This year also had 800 new friends subscribe. That is 800 people who decided they wanted to hang out and talk rocks. And if you're one of them, thank you so much for being here. I started this channel just to share my passion for mining and geology stories, and it still amazes me that anyone else wants to hang out and talk rocks with me. That doesn't fit. Yes, it does. Okay. So the top videos of 2025 were, drumroll. All right. The limestone story of the Alamo, which considering I didn't even get to film that one the way I had planned, it's a pretty big feat. The Paula Gems video that I filmed with my mom, so that's pretty special to have that one in the top 3. And the story of Peekaboo Slot Canyon, which was filmed with my friend Bambi near Zion, and that was so cool. We had the place pretty much to ourselves. Highly recommend going in February. Clearly, you all love a good mix of travel, adventure, and a tiny bit of sparkle, which is great because I have some really cool gem-related content, besides this, in the works for 2026. The Sapphire video from last year is still breaking records and still bringing in new people. So I know you all have been waiting for something along those lines for ages since that kind of came out. So I have some super gem-related adventures already in the works. They just take a little bit of planning, but we have some really exciting opportunities. That's all I'm going to say because they're not finalized yet. But if you love the Sapphire video, if you love rock hounding and gems and want to learn more about them, 2026 is going to be pretty good for that. Oh, I forgot that I'm doing a time lapse. And I keep bringing the Legos closer to me. So I also got to do something else new this year. I was featured on Geo Girl's Work for Earth podcast, which brought in many new friends. So if you're coming here from that, again, welcome. I'm super stoked to have you, and I hope you're enjoying this channel as much as you enjoy hers. So here's where the data gets extra fun and then maybe a little bit chaotic. I travel a lot for work, and most of these videos were actually filmed around other trips. So like Alcatraz and the San Andreas Fault, I was actually presenting at the Essential Minerals Association conference, which was so cool. The Alamo was filmed during the annual Women in Mining conference. Toronto's Urban Geology Rock Walk was filmed during PDAC 2025. So the Paula Gems video, I wasn't there for work. That trip existed purely so I could get the Southwest Companion Pass that allows me to travel for other trips. So if you want to know more about that, I have lots of videos around the Southwest Companion Pass because I do it very often. And the entire Idaho series, I think there was 4 or 5 videos of that one, was filmed over the span of the week because I was giving a workshop on social media for mining at AEMA Summer Summit, as well as I was on site with some client work doing some photography and stuff for them. So that was really cool, and I got to hang out with my friend Caitlin on that one, and she helped me film a ton of that, so massive shout out to Caitlin on that one. So yeah, when I say I film around work, I really mean around work. When I look at the numbers and the miles and the memories, it is wild to think about everything that happened this year. And since I'm a data nerd, I'll be adding a few more things to the screen over here for you to check out, such as the number of flights taken, the miles driven, the hotel bed slept in, but to be fair, I'm also going to include the nights sleeping in my car because that is the glamour of geotourism, mine tours taken, and states visited. But seriously, each of those layers, every video, every trip, every late night edit, they add something to the channel and to me. I cannot wait to see what 2026's layers look like. All right, this next one I'm excited about because not just like section of the video, but like actually in reality, this is one of my favorite minerals. Very partial to it. All right, next up is Rhodochrosite. I think this fits perfectly for this part of the recap because it's all about warmth and community and the people who have helped me keep things going. And I think it's fitting because rhodochrosite is one of my absolute favorite minerals because it's found at the Orphan Girl Mine at the World Museum of Mining, which is where I really got my kickstart love of mining history and geology, and it's where I went to school, so very partial to this gem. Or to this mineral. I don't have any gemmy rhodochrosite like we're building here, so it's gonna be cool to have it in my collection. So I launched the Rock Record Support Program right around June, right when I was hitting that major change of burnout and shifting down from one video every week. I'd been talking to a lot of other creators about how they sustain what they do, and a lot of them have different programs or merch or like Patreon style tiers. Basically, the idea of a virtual support system came up again and again, but within that creative burnout, I just didn't have the time or capacity to make subscriber only content. So I decided to give it a shot and just put out, hey, if you want to support the Rock Record, here's my website, or you can do it directly through YouTube. And I was shocked by the amount of support that I've received from it. About 10 people, some publicly, some anonymously, have chosen to support the channel directly. Some have sent one-time gifts, and some have contributed multiple times. Beyond that, others buy merch. I've launched a whole new set of Rock Record merch that I'm super excited about, and I'm looking forward to new things in 2026 with that. I have some big plans and ideas, so keep an eye out for that. And beyond the financial support, so many others help in so many different ways. Some give me advice. Some connect me with the right people to get site access. Others recommend the channels to their family, friends, or teachers. And so many of you support me by just clicking like or leaving a comment because that really helps in the algorithm and helps these videos get seen by other people. Honestly, it all makes a difference. So to everyone who's donated, shared a video, there we go, sent a message, connected me with a contact, or even just hit that like button, massive, sincere thank you to you. This support program isn't just funding videos for YouTube. It's helping me keep telling the stories of the rocks, the people, and the places that make geology such a human experience. Oh, and speaking of community, this year something accidental yet hilarious kind of happened. We launched our Guest Rock Talk series. So this series started when I asked my brother to get some B-roll content for me for a video that I want to film. And he made a video that was kind of making fun of me. Now, of course, my brother can't have all the spotlight, so the rest of my family slowly started chiming in. First my mom, then my brother's friends, and then finally my dad kicked off his 4-part series. Just like that, their friends slowly started sharing videos. My friends slowly started sharing videos. People were sending me photos of rocks saying, this is for Guest Rock Talk, or sending me pins or videos of cool places that they wanted me to go talk about that they stumbled across. It was just like a massive snowball effect. So most of this has been happening over on Instagram, but I am working on uploading a Guest Rock Talk short playlist. So I have some of the videos up. I'm working on getting the rest up. Dad, yes, yours are coming. I know you're watching this video, and I know yours aren't up there yet. It's a work in progress, all right? But if you have sent in something for me to edit or tag me on Instagram, you might see yourself pop up here soon, as long as I have your permission, of course. It has been so much fun watching people really get into the storytelling side of their rock experiences, sharing their own rocks, posting about their own adventures through the lens of geology and geotourism. It is pretty much exactly what I had hoped that the Rock Record could have become. A community built on curiosity and creativity. So it's been really fun to see that accidentally come into play. So thanks, RJ, for helping make that happen. So this one is for you, the Rock Record community. All right, so up next is Tangerine Quartz, which I thought was citrine, but they're calling it Tangerine Quartz, so we'll do that. This one is bright, bold, and full of energy, just like our Industry Insider series. So as I've already mentioned, this is the side of the Rock Record that is all about pulling the curtain back on modern mining projects and operations. So the Industry Insider series actually kicked off in 2024 with the first and only video on that playlist. This was the behind-the-scenes tour of Brunton, the compasses that I have used throughout my entire career and that I absolutely love. So if you've been on the channel for a while, you know what an absolute cool experience this was. And since then, I have officially become a Brunton ambassador, which I am ridiculously excited about. I have a ton of videos planned for these that I can't wait to show you, so you can expect to see a lot more of them on my channel. One of the projects in the works is even with my brother, which if you saw the Zortman video, you know how chaotic that's going to be, but it's going to be a really good time. So massive shout out and thanks to Brunton for not only being my first video on the Industry Insider series in 2024, but also for making me an ambassador now. All right, it started raining more, so come closer. So as I was saying, this year, the Industry Insider series really started to take shape. I filmed 2 of these episodes, both of which I've already mentioned, the South 32 Hermosa project and the Arcosa Aggregate Quarry. So the Arcosa Aggregates visit was actually my first time on a real operating quarry. And I'll admit, coming from a hard rock mining background, my first thought was, okay, rocks and gravel, how interesting can this really be? But I was 100% totally and completely wrong. It was absolutely fascinating. The video that you saw was actually cut down from the hour-long video that I originally produced because it was that cool. There is so much science, precision, and sustainability in what they do. It is way more than just piles of rock. And then again, South 32's Hermosa project was just a really big deal for me and the Rock Record. So again, just massive thank you to both Arcosa and South 32 for allowing us into your sites and to share your stories. I do also want to give a massive shout out to my friend Alicia, who came with me on that trip. She was absolutely amazing to have around. She was my second shooter. She helped me with the coordinating, the planning, the filming, everything. And I don't think I could have done that without her. So everybody, please give Alicia big claps, a round of applause, nice comments in the comments section. She is the real MVP. What I love about this series is that it gives me a chance to show you a side of mining and geology that people really, truly, honestly never get to see. It's pretty rare for the public to have such access to mining operations. I spend a lot of time doing videos on historic mine tours, which are really awesome and important and available for the public, which is massive for me because I want to encourage you to go to these places. But they are also preserved in the past, as they should be. With this Industry Insider series, I get to share what mining looks like today. New technologies, the modern exploration process, the permitting challenges, and the excitement that comes with the discovery. Because this isn't about just saying, oh, we need these minerals, which we do. We all know if it can't be grown, it must be mined. But my goal with this series is to share the human side, the innovation, the problem solving, and the real people behind it all. So if you've really been liking that kind of content, helping me make more is really actually very simple. Go back to those Industry Insider videos, drop a like, leave a comment, or share them. That engagement really truly helps when I am pitching this idea to new companies who might be a little hesitant. It shows that people actually want to see this and learn about this, and that these stories really matter. So yeah, Tangerine Quartz. Energy, momentum, and a bright outlook for what's next in this series. All right, finally, last but certainly not least, the stand. This is the foundation that holds everything together. Because honestly, that's what this year feels like. Building something solid that can support whatever comes next. Oh, I should not have mixed those. Well, here we go. It is absolutely wild to think how far the rock record has come. And the fact that it's only been 2 years. Maybe that seems like a while to you, but to me, it seems like just yesterday. I was standing in Minnesota in January, filming my first ever video while pretty much freezing to death. When I started this channel, I just wanted to tell stories about rocks. It's something that I've been wanting to do, honestly, for ages. And somehow it's grown into this supportive, amazing community of people who all love geology, mining, and adventure as much as I do. Even for those that don't love geology, mining, and adventure, but still hang around to watch for these fun travel ideas, I appreciate you too. Honestly, I'm just so grateful. And it's not just about the views or the milestones, although those are really awesome. In 2024, I was awarded WIM 100 recognition because of this channel, which means I was one of the 100 top global inspirational women in mining for that year, which is crazy. This year, because of this channel, I actually received the Mining and Minerals Education Foundation Medal of Merit Under 40 Award, which is a mouthful and it still feels unreal to say. And of course, again, the Brunton Ambassadorship because of this channel and because of all of you. All of the work and recognition that's happening because of this channel is really, honestly, truly because of every single one of you. Every comment, like, share, encouragement when I'm about ready to give up, it has helped make all of this possible. And the best part, we're just getting started. I have so much content already filmed from my trip to Minnesota and Michigan that I absolutely cannot wait to share. This includes one of the absolute wildest mine tours I have ever been on in my life. There are new industry insider videos in the works, more collaborations that I'm very excited about, and yes, I do hear you, more gems. I have a gem and jewelry collab coming up that I think you're going to really love. I'm also hoping to take the rock record international again next year, so if there's a place that you've been wanting to know the geologic story of, or someplace really cool that maybe you can't get to or don't want to go, but you want to hear the story of it, let me know in the comments because I am always looking for the next adventure. Oh, and one more thing that I absolutely can't forget. A couple months ago, I got to take a tour of my first active coal mine, and it was so cool, but I wasn't allowed to film, so I am working on trying to figure out how I can get into an active coal mine to share that with you because everybody thinks of it as this like dirty industry that's kind of like old-fashioned, and it could not be further from the truth. I literally had to resist temptation to sign up to become a coal miner because it was that cool. So if anyone has any connections to a coal mine that I'm allowed to film in, hit me up and let me know. So yeah, that's been 2025. A year of learning, balance, burnout, growth, and a whole lot of rocks. I hope that you'll join me for the Rock Records third year kicking off January 14th, 2026. Until I see you then, keep exploring the stories written in stone.